right now I cannot stand being in this room with this bastard. And if it was up to me, he would not walk out of here. I wish I could handle this and serve justice on his ass right now.
Marcus Lofton shot his estranged wife, Alicia Lofton, multiple times just a day after she served him divorce papers.
In the early hours of August 17, 2023, at around 8:30 a.m., police rushed to a frantic 911 call reporting gunfire at 1411 Union Avenue Southeast. When officers arrived, they were met with a horrifying sight. A 38-year-old mother of three, Alicia Danielle Lofton's body lay near the corner of Adams Street and Union Avenue, cold and still, riddled with gunshot wounds. The silence that settled over the scene was chilling. Moments before she was killed, Alicia walked into a scene no wife ever expects to face: her husband in bed with men. But before that tragic morning, before the gunshots echoed through Grand Rapids, it's important to understand where it all began. What happened next would ignite a chain of violence from which she would never return. She was born on January 2, 1985. Living in Grand Rapids, Michigan, Alicia Danielle Lofton was known for her warmth, her positivity, and her deep devotion to her family. As a mother of three, she poured every ounce of her energy into her children. Her eldest was on the cusp of graduating high school and preparing for Grand Valley State University. Her older daughter was finishing her final year of college, and her youngest was getting ready to complete high school. Alicia's world revolved around them, and every decision she made came from a place of love. She had a heart of gold, the kind of woman who would give away her last dollar if it meant helping someone else. Friends and family admired her strength, her kindness, and her ability to make motherhood look effortless despite the challenges she faced. She built a stable life grounded in family, hard work, and compassion. Then, in February 2023, Alicia stepped into a new chapter when she began a serious relationship with 44-year-old Marcus Durrell Lofton. His presence seemed, at first, to offer the love and partnership she deserved. Marcus, known for his sharp style and confident personality, quickly became a central figure in Alicia's life. Together, they shared joyful moments, captured in photos, videos, and playful posts that painted a picture of a couple overflowing with love. Their chemistry was obvious. They laughed together, danced together, and appeared inseparable. Marcus had a reputation. He was generous, flashy, always dressed well, and known for helping people when he could. But he also had a past of juggling multiple relationships, a man who rarely committed to anyone openly. Yet with Alicia, something seemed different. For the first time, he publicly embraced a relationship. He showed her off, posting pictures, talking about her openly, and presenting himself as a man ready to settle down. To outsiders, it seemed like Alicia had finally found a partner who valued her. Someone who would love her as fiercely as she loved everyone around her. Their social media painted a perfect portrait of happiness, affection, excitement, and a home filled with laughter. If you're finding these stories meaningful or informative, please consider subscribing to our channel. It really helps us keep bringing you more content like this. By February 2023, they decided to take a major step forward. They married, a decision that seemed to seal their commitment to a brighter future. Their wedding appeared to promise stability, love, and a life built together. But barely 3 months later, everything shifted. Behind the perfect photos and smiling faces, the cracks started to appear. The once vibrant connection began to fade. Alicia's family and close friends noticed the changes first. The long silences, the sudden separations, the tension that seemed to follow the couple even in moments that should have been joyful. While the world still saw their bright smiles online, Alicia's inner circle wondered what she was hiding behind that quiet, composed smile. The marriage that had looked so perfect from the outside was quietly falling apart. And as the months passed, the truth began creeping into Alicia's life in ways she couldn't ignore. What started as whispers in early spring became harder to dismiss by May. Rumors of Marcus's infidelity grew louder, disturbing hints that he was not just unfaithful, but unfaithful in ways Alicia never imagined. The uncertainty gnawed at her, keeping her awake at night, forcing her to confront questions she was afraid to answer. Eventually, unable to hold it in any longer, she confronted Marcus directly, desperate for the truth, desperate for clarity. What followed was explosive. Their arguments became more frequent and more volatile. Each confrontation chipped away at the foundation of their marriage. The emotional weight on Alicia grew heavier with every passing week. The home that was supposed to offer safety and partnership became a battleground of tension, distrust, and escalating conflict. And though Alicia tried to hold on, tried to make sense of the unraveling relationship, she had no way of knowing that the truth she feared the most would soon lead to the moment that cost her life. The man Alicia had once loved with her whole heart was now at the center of disturbing accusations, and with every passing day, the trust she once placed in him crumbled even further. The weight of deceit pressed on her until she could no longer ignore the truth staring back at her. Alicia reached a breaking point. She could no longer endure a marriage swallowed by secrets, dishonesty, and betrayal. Something had to change, and soon. By August 2023, Alicia, done waiting for answers, decided to take control of the situation herself. She no longer believed Marcus' explanations or excuses, so she chose to uncover the truth on her own. Instead of hiring a private investigator, she took a bold and desperate step. She posted Marcus' photo in a well-known Facebook group where women share information about unfaithful partners. The responses she received weren't just confirmation of her fears, they were terrifying. Each message echoed the same disturbing pattern, with multiple women sharing experiences that mirrored her own suspicions. The rumors she once tried to silence became undeniable facts, turning her worst fears into reality. As she tried to process the flood of information, Alicia uncovered something even more damning. A secretly recorded video that appeared to show Marcus in a compromising situation with other men. The footage shattered any remaining hope she had left. The betrayal was not only real, it was far deeper than she ever imagined. Overwhelmed and furious, Alicia felt the truth burning in her hands. The pain, the confusion, the anger, all of it fueled a moment of clarity. She made a bold and public decision. She went live on Facebook, ready to expose Marcus for who he truly was. With the proof in front of her, she confronted him head-on, revealing the truth she had uncovered. But just as quickly as the live began, it ended. Without warning, Alicia's Facebook page vanished. The sudden disappearance sparked rumors that Marcus pressured her into deactivating it, a desperate attempt to control the narrative as everything spiraled out of his reach. The abrupt loss of her online presence only deepened the mystery and tension surrounding the situation. The aftermath of Alicia's discovery was devastating. Her marriage was over, there was no saving what had already been destroyed. The emotional toll had reached its peak, and the evidence was impossible to deny. The future she once imagined, filled with love and security, dissolved under the weight of betrayal. Alicia had reached her final decision. She served Marcus with divorce papers, formally beginning the end of their marriage. But that wasn't all. Alicia also informed him that she intended to sell the home, a decision that symbolized her determination to leave this painful chapter behind. She was done, ready to reclaim her life and walk away from the chaos. Alicia and Marcus had already been living apart for 3 months since the heated fight in May. What should have been a quiet, straightforward separation quickly escalated into something far more dangerous. Marcus, devastated by the divorce and consumed with anger, began acting irrationally. Instead of respecting Alicia's right to move on, his jealousy festered into something darker. Then came the morning that changed everything. On August 17, 2023, just one day after receiving the divorce papers, Marcus made the alarming decision to return to the home they once shared, claiming he needed to talk. This was despite the restraining order Alicia had taken out against him, an order meant to protect her as she navigated the divorce. He was legally required to stay away, yet he showed up anyway. At around 8 a.m., Marcus arrived at the house, clouded by suspicion. He believed Alicia might be secretly meeting with their realtor and plotting to keep the home's profits from him. Fueled by paranoia and anger, he confronted her. What began as a verbal argument quickly ignited into a volatile confrontation. According to Marcus' later version of events, the situation spiraled out of control. He claimed he grabbed Alicia's Glock from the drawer during the heat of the argument. What he described as a moment of rage, he tried to frame as an accident, a gun discharged in the chaos. Alicia, wounded and terrified, ran to a nearby bedroom and locked the door behind her. But Marcus was far from finished. Controlled by fury and desperate to assert dominance, he broke down the door. Inside, he found Alicia injured and attempting to escape through the bedroom window. In a moment of staggering brutality, Marcus raised the gun and fired multiple shots, striking her in the head, neck, and torso. With no hint of remorse, Marcus fled the scene in his maroon SUV, leaving Alicia dying on the floor. Minutes later, police rushed to a frantic 911 call reporting gunfire at 1411 Union Avenue. When officers arrived, they were met with a horrifying sight. Alicia's lifeless body lay near the intersection of Adams Street and Union Avenue, her body riddled with fatal gunshot wounds. The scene was chilling, the tragic end to a woman who had only wanted honesty, safety, and a chance to rebuild her life. A neighbor who witnessed the chaos that morning later recalled the moment everything fell apart. They heard a loud argument erupting between the couple, the kind of shouting that signals something is terribly wrong. Moments later came the sharp, unmistakable cracks of gunfire. When the neighbor rushed to the window, they saw Marcus's maroon SUV speeding away from the house, disappearing down the street as if trying to outrun what had just happened. That image, his car fading from sight while Alicia lay dying, would haunt the neighborhood for years to come. It was the tragic moment that forever changed the lives of everyone who knew Alicia. After the brutal killing of Alicia Danielle Lofton, investigators immediately focused on Marcus as the primary suspect. Their search didn't take long. The very next day, on August 18th, officers found him walking in the 12200 block of North Avenue Northeast and arrested him without incident. Later, he was charged with open murder, and on Thursday, September 28th, a judge formally ordered him to stand trial for the killing of his wife. During his police interview, Marcus unfolded a disturbing timeline. He admitted that Alicia had served him with divorce papers on August 16th and informed him she planned to sell the home as well. The news, he claimed, blindsided him. Despite a standing court order requiring him to stay away from Alicia following a domestic violence arrest in May, he chose to ignore it. The next morning, around 8 a.m. on August 17th, he went to the Union Avenue home they once shared. What was supposed to be a conversation quickly turned into a heated confrontation. According to Marcus, the argument escalated until, in a moment of rage, he grabbed Alicia's gun from a drawer. What began as an explosive exchange turned into something far darker as he used that weapon against her.
There was discussion that you and Alicia were going to get divorced, correct?
Yes.
Did you to stop the divorce?
No.
Did you
I actually filed for the, I'm the one that asked for the divorce.
Okay, so you instigated the divorce.
After, in May, after the situation with the domestic situation, I asked her for a divorce application and I filled out the papers.
Okay. And did you her to try to stop her from leaving you and going to another man?
No.
You also talked about money violence in that earlier interview. You remember that?
Yes, not mine.
But there was a substantial amount of money when Alicia sold the house, correct?
That she was.
He later admitted to detectives that he fired the gun during what he described as uncontrollable anger, ultimately taking Alicia's life. As a result, Marcus was charged with first-degree murder and possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony. He remains behind bars without bond as he awaits trial. The affidavit painted an even darker picture of Marcus's past. His record included multiple felony convictions, carrying a concealed weapon, possession with intent to distribute, and narcotics delivery, cementing a long history of criminal behavior. These details only magnified the horror of what had happened. Marcus's confession revealed a chilling mix of jealousy, control, and rage. Alicia's murder was a devastating reminder of how deadly domestic violence can become. To her family, the reality was almost impossible to accept. A woman who had brought warmth and light into the lives of everyone around her was gone, taken by the very man she trusted. Her death was more than a senseless act of violence. It was a tragic example of the hidden dangers that often lurk behind seemingly normal relationships. Despite Marcus's arrest in May for a previous domestic violence incident, he had continued to manipulate and exert control over Alicia. She had tried to escape the toxic cycle, but the patterns of abuse ran deep, ultimately leading to her death. The pain of losing Alicia left her family shattered. Her 3 children were suddenly forced to face life without the mother who had been their anchor. The devastation rippled outward, affecting not only her children but her extended family, friends, and the wider community. In the weeks following her murder, Alicia's family focused their energy on honoring her memory and caring for her children. Though her life had been cut tragically short, her love, kindness, and compassion continued to resonate with those she left behind. As Grand Rapids mourned, family members, advocates, and community leaders came together to raise awareness about the lasting and destructive impact of domestic violence. Alicia's story struck a chord with many who had faced or witnessed similar struggles.
It's a piece of garbage. My daughter introduced me to this guy one time, and I didn't like him from minute one. I don't know if he understands how close he was to being a dick. And right now, I cannot stand being in this room with this. And if it was up to me, he would not walk out of here. You know, I listened to some of the things he said about my daughter's family, not wanting her, not spending time with her, but that's all a lie. She hid getting married to this bastard from the whole family because she knew we despised him. And I just want the court to understand that my daughter didn't get humanized in this trial while they let him speak and lie. And it was despicable.
Support poured in for her children as calls for justice grew louder, especially after court proceedings began. Amid the heartbreak, Alicia's family worked tirelessly to make sure her children had stability during the most painful time of their lives. A GoFundMe campaign was launched to support their education and basic needs. The generosity shown by neighbors, friends, and strangers became a symbol of the community's solidarity, an effort to bring comfort in the midst of overwhelming grief. Though the funds could never replace Alicia, they provided a measure of hope for her children's future. Alicia's sister, Faustino Garcia, said they're all trying to stay as grounded as possible as the new school year approaches. They're trying to stay as level-headed as they can for the school year. It's an unfortunate event, and the timing is even worse because school starts soon. It's a lot for them to take in. I've kind of become the spokesperson for my family, she explained. She spoke about how deeply Alicia's absence will be felt in the months ahead. My oldest niece is graduating college next year. Her mom's not going to be there. She's going to look into the crowd expecting to see her mom. It's going to hurt. My nephew is starting his first year at Grand Valley, and he's going to look for his mom and she won't be there. And my youngest niece, who's in high school, won't have her mom there to help her pick out a prom dress. All of that is going to hurt in ways we can't even describe, Garcia said. She added a plea that came from a place of heartbreak and urgency. Briefly shed some light on domestic violence. I know it's tough for a lot of women to speak out, but please, just speak out on it, she said. Alicia's aunt, Jennifer Lee, shared her own memories, reflecting on the bond they had despite their age difference. Alicia and I grew up like sisters even though I'm her aunt. We lived in the same house. We fought over clothes, we fought over little things, sometimes even her choices, Lee said. But I would have fought her over this. I feel like Marcus Lofton wasn't introduced to the family because he was an embarrassment. Nobody in her family, including her father, would have allowed him around his baby. As the legal process moved forward, one truth remained clear. No court ruling could ever erase the emotional scars left behind. Marcus Lofton's case moved steadily through the system, but for Alicia's family, closure would remain distant. Her death raised troubling questions about the failures in the system meant to protect victims of abuse, questions that her loved ones would grapple with long after the trial concluded. Alicia's story became a somber reminder of how quickly domestic violence can escalate and how desperately communities must fight to prevent tragedies like hers from ever happening again. As we reflect on the life of Alicia Lofton, we're reminded of just how deeply one person can shape the lives of everyone around them. Her story isn't simply a tragedy, it's a powerful reminder, a call for all of us to step up, speak out, and do better. It urges us to recognize the signs of abuse, to support those who feel trapped, and to help create a world where domestic violence isn't ignored, dismissed, or brushed aside, but confronted and dismantled. Alicia's legacy is rooted in love, resilience, and the unbreakable connection she shared with her children. Though she is no longer physically here, the memory of who she was, and the painful lessons her story reveals, will continue to guide and strengthen the ongoing fight for justice and protection for domestic violence survivors everywhere. Her children, now forced to live with a void that will never truly be filled, will carry her memory with them for the rest of their lives. As they grow, they will face challenges shaped by this tragic loss, but they will also carry the love, courage, and strength that Alicia poured into them every single day. Those pieces of her will remain with them forever. What do you think about this case? Let us know in the comments below. And if this story moved you, please like, share, and don't forget to subscribe for more cases just like this.